Erika Kirk. Looking skyward. Why? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Erika Kirk has risen to prominence following the assassination of her husband Charlie, and there are many people that regard some of her behaviours as incongruous, that they don't add up. Repeatedly, people say they find that there's something off about the way that she behaves. Frequently, people have pointed to what they see as performative grief, the dabbing of the eyes when no tears appear, the circulation of a video of her weeping over her husband's body in the casket, and also the propensity that she exhibits, as you can see from some of the photographs that are on screen, for repeatedly looking skyward, or perhaps heavenward, when she makes public appearances. Is she an ardent aeroplane spotter and is always wanting to see what might be in the sky? Well, that might be one explanation for this repeated habit of looking towards the skies, but let's have a little look at her in action with some video footage reinforcing the point.
And so today, as we honor Charlie with this incredible Presidential Medal of Freedom on his birthday, I see here with tears and just a humbled heart and spirit, because his story reminds us all that to live free is the greatest gift, but to die free is the greatest victory. Happy birthday, my Charlie. Happy Freedom Day.
On his side, facing the outside of the bed, because he had a bad back. I'm sure most of you didn't know that, but he had a really bad back. Anyways, so it's also why he wore compressions.
Charlie loved you. It's hard not to get emotional because I know that he would have been the first phone call when he found out that you were going to be taking this position. And the way that I was able to witness the two of you work together for years and to champion and support the president was absolutely humbling to witness. And I am so proud of you. And Charlie is going to be with you every single day in spirit, and I will be praying for you every day, because I know that this is just the beginning of an incredible opportunity for you. And sir, thank you for allowing Sergio to have this beautiful moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John. And that man's watching over us right now, right? Okay.
An appearance in the Rose Garden, an appearance at an event, an appearance at the memorial, and also just recently where she has turned up in the Oval Office speaking to President Trump as a consequence of the swearing in of a friend of hers who is the new ambassador to India. Numerous instances there of her looking skyward. But what's the explanation for it? Well, it has been suggested that it's an affectation that's designed to cause the light to catch her eyes so that they look more prominent because of the nature of the blueness of her eyes. This is a possibility. After all, as a narcissist, she would want to draw attention to herself. She is a physically attractive woman, and in relation to her cadre of narcissism, was most likely be somatic as a consequence of the emphasis on appearance, her interest in money, the fact that she was a Miss Arizona, possibility she could be an elite, but most likely leaning towards somatic narcissist. And therefore wanting to draw attention to a physical aspect of her appearance whenever she is seen publicly by basically causing her eyes to flash could be an explanation for why she's engaging in this affectation of looking skyward. An alternative suggestion that has been offered is that it is a tell to demonstrate that she is lying, that as a consequence of looking upwards and in some instances to the right, that's indicating that she's not actually drawing the information from memory, but is actually creating it, that she is accessing the creative part of her mind, hence the way that she looks. There may be some force in such a matter, but this falls down because by virtue of the fact that she is an unaware narcissist, when she tells an untruth, it's actually her truth. But when she tells a lie, it's her truth. And therefore, in many instances, she doesn't know that she is lying. What she says is her truth. And therefore, if there is a tell that exists, and there is some debate about this, of course, experts falling either side of the fence as to the efficacy of being able to tell that somebody's lying through tells, it falls down with the unaware narcissist as a consequence of the fact that the narcissist, owing to their differed perspective, doesn't know that they are lying. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with my work, you may find that quite an extraordinary statement. The person must know that they're telling lies. But I've explained it in many other videos, and essentially, because of the altered perspective of the unaware narcissist, their lies are their truth. It's a different perspective, and the narcissism doesn't allow them to know that they're telling a lie. It can't do, because if the narcissist knew that they were lying, they would not pursue the prime aims with the same level of speed and necessity that would be required. And therefore, they are not allowed to know that they are lying. Thus, when they tell a lie, it's their truth, which means that if there is a tell, it can't be applicable to the narcissist as a consequence of the fact that they don't know that they're actually lying. If you want to understand more about this differing perspective, I'd encourage you to look at my other videos, as it's a topic that I regularly explain, because understandably so, it's rather an alien concept to many people to think that somebody doesn't know that they're lying. But it is the case with the narcissist, and those of that you have been involved with unaware narcissists come to realise that they believe their own lies. It is their truth. Accordingly, if it's not that, what might it be? The other aspect is triangulation. That in effect, as a consequence of her faith and the fact that Charlie Kirk is in heaven, this affectation has arisen whereby what she's doing is triangulating anybody that she's talking to or in front of with heaven. This is naturally a rather grandiose gesture and is powerful. As I've explained in my video, The Holy Narcissist, the invocation of God as a means to pursue the prime aims is a particularly potent and powerful methodology. I'd encourage you to watch the video, The Holy Narcissist, to understand how, for instance, members of the clergy regularly utilize God or some other spiritual being as a means to go after the prime aims. Here, Erika Kirk isn't a member of the clergy. She is a believer, which is her right. However, a narcissist that is a believer will regularly utilize the relevant religion, relevant spiritual being, and in this instance, God, as a means of assertion of control over the listener and the viewer, drawing fuel by way of their response and the management of the facade. I'm a religious person. Here, what she is doing is triangulating the audience with the fact that she believes that Kirk is in heaven. A belief she's allowed to have. But what she does is, by looking heavenward each instance, she is invoking the presence of Charlie Kirk, God, and heaven, and triangulating those aspects with her audience to prompt a reaction so that it shows that they're under control, for them to think, look at her. What a wonderful woman. She's remembering Charlie and looking to the skies. She's bringing him forth. She's invoking his presence. She's looking up to God, such is her spiritual mission. There are many people that could do this and who are not narcissists, but where the narcissist engages in this behavior, because you know that they are a narcissist, they are doing it for the prime aims. It's always, repeat, always self-serving. And therefore, as a consequence of the fact that we know that she is a narcissist, the most likely explanations for this repeated looking heavenwards or skywards is that it might be as a consequence of somaticism to draw attention to her eyes, but I think on balance it's more likely to triangulate the audience, the listeners, the onlookers with the concept of heaven and God. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.